Welcome back to my channel. What's up? What's good? And we're not really gonna stay too long on this one. Just want to let y'all know that I will be trying to drop 2 videos per week. So if you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you really like the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the Move Gang. And we're gonna get right into it. Enjoy. James Harden is one of the most skilled players to ever touch this earth. I mean, look at the man beard. Anybody hooping with a beard like that is definitely giving you buckets on a daily basis. If you haven't been under a rock, you'll know that James Harden was recently traded to the 76ers to play with the process Joel Embid for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and some draft picks. Since this recording, James Harden already been putting up crazy stats. On this day, he's averaging 28, 14, and 9. He looking like the James Harden that was back on the 2017 Rockets. And somehow, some way, he always looked like he loses a few pounds when he switches team. I mean, let's be honest. And if you take a look at how the 76ers are playing right now, there's no denying that the offense just looks smoother now that Joel Embid can play with some space in the paint. With James Harden, Embid, and Tobias Harris, it looked like the 76ers can make a strong run in the playoffs. Today I want to take a look at James Harden and how he could just be doing a repeat of what he did on every team he was traded to. In his first game as a Rocket, James Harden put up 37 points and 12 assists. James Harden would prove to the Houston Rockets that he was worth the money, as he went on to be an all-star every season with them, even winning and being runner-up for MVP in a few seasons. We know James Harden is a box office player, but let's look at his exit in Houston. In the 2017-2018 season, the Rockets got Chris Paul to compete with the Golden State Warriors, who at the time had Kevin Durant on a team that was already 73-9 the previous season. Fast forward to the Western Conference Finals, the Rockets ended up being 3-2 against the Warriors. Chris Paul, James Harden, Trevor Ariza, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon, coached by Mike D'Antoni, seemed to be the formula to beat the Warriors that was loaded at the time. But when Chris Paul came down and it was all up to James Harden and the crew, they fell completely short. Stats show that James Harden had a plus-minus of -19 in Game 6 and -13 in Game 7. The Rockets shot 15% from 3 that game. They couldn't throw a chair in the ocean. A season later, there were reports and Chris Paul were having feuds on playing styles, which led to Chris Paul being traded to OKC. And the Rockets acquired Russell Westbrook, and we could all predict how that turned out. They lost in the second round to the Lakers, where the Rockets just played abysmal. This is when James Harden found that infamous bodysuit to put on when he don't want to play for a team no more. Other teams like the Nets got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. The Lakers got LeBron and Anthony Davis. The Clippers had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And other teams were just putting good pieces around their players, while James Harden had to play with people like Christian Wood and Daniel House. Yes, Christian Wood and Daniel House. So in that season, he was fined for going to the club, for violating COVID protocols. He showed up late for practice and just seemed disinterested at the time. Then a blockbuster trade happens when the Rockets sent James Harden to the Nets, where the Nets gave up valuable pieces like Karis LeVert, Jarrett Allen, and 3 first-round draft picks to pair James Harden with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. It looked like the Nets were trending hard towards a title run. In his debut, James Harden took off that bodysuit and dropped a triple-double, putting up 30, 14, and 12. The Nets looked like the juggernaut. Then James Harden got a hamstring injury. Then this happened, which led to James Harden playing like a role player, which led to this. What looked like a team almost 100% sure to make it to the finals came up short while looking horrible doing it. But there's always next season, right? Wrong. After a few months of dealing with Kyrie Irving madness, a string of injuries, and not winning, my man James Harden did not want to be there no more. So you know what he did? He pulled that bodysuit out the closet. Not to mention, he was already hitting up the strip clubs and chilling with Lil Baby. Now, don't you see how history looked like it's repeating itself? So now the Nets make another blockbuster trade, getting Ben Simmons, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, and a few draft picks, while they send over James Harden to the 76ers. And now that James Harden is paired with Embiid, he look excited to play basketball again. he moving different. He looks motivated. And more famously, he took off that bodysuit. I believe the 76ers were a James Harden away from making a strong title run anyway. However, I wouldn't be surprised if history repeats itself once again. I mean, Doc Rivers is the coach, and he's known for blowing 3-1 leads. Trust me, I know. I'm a Clippers fan. And if James Harden feels unmotivated and pulls out that bodysuit again, it just might get ugly in Philly. And with Joel Embiid being as passionate as he is, only time will tell how things will turn out. But hopefully, James Harden could prove me wrong and make it far in the playoffs. Hopefully make the finals. But let me know what you think down in the comments. And I'll see you guys next time. Move.